Guten Tag, my name is DMAD, and welcome to my new series, BEC TREK Afterthoughts. Long story short, this new series is going to cover topics that I either covered in a previous BEC TREK episode, or things that I saw on my trip and thought about that I didn't have a chance to put into the video. So yeah, if you want to just get straight into the topic of this video, here's the timestamp. But I just want to say, I don't want this to be seen as something milking my visit to a zoo for content, but I wanted to just expand on the things that I didn't get the chance to expand on in a previous video. There may just be rants, there's not much research that'll go into this. I just wanted to talk about topics, and hey, hopefully this will lead to more topic focused videos, or we may even expand on the subjects covered today. So let's get into it. This video is going to cover my most recent visit to Deanna Rose Children's Farmstead. One thing that I wanted to point out, and this is always a pet peeve of mine, for those who don't know, I do a lot of cataloging of my pictures, and that includes listing all of the different species, morphs, breeds. If I don't know what an animal is, I put it in a broader category like domestic cow or penguin, or lizard, stuff like that. So, but with the breeds, I like to know the specifics. And while they did have some signs, like with their some of their sheep, their American guinea hogs, chickens and goats, some like their cattle, some of their horses and donkeys, and some of their other goats, they just didn't have the signs on them. So that was just a pet peeve. Though, what's ironic is that they do, I don't know if you can hear this, my AC just turned on and the vent is right next to me. So, but a bit of the trade-off is that some of their signs actually have the names of the animals, which, I don't know, I prefer, I mean, if you can have the name, that'd be cool, but I like having the species name too, or the breed name. I don't know, it's kind of a trade-off, don't know how to put it. They did, and this is something I'm noticing in a lot more zoos. I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like now that I'm focusing more on plants, I'm trying to, I'm figuring out that they post some of their pollinator plants, and I think it's Lincoln Children's Zoo that also does some of this. They'll have little signs in front of like a tree or a bush or something, and it'll say what kind of plant it is. Just, that's it. I mean, sometimes it'll have the scientific name, but yeah, it doesn't really post much else. But I think that's cool. I think it's cool kind of learning about what that plant is. Maybe it's a way to inspire people. Like, hey, if you want to start a pollinator garden, these are the kinds of plants we use. So, yeah, something like that. Though, with these signs, I do want to say that I am working on a little project regarding zoo species lists, so stay tuned for that. I'm working on it same day as I'm recording this audio, but I don't know when it's going to be out, but stay tuned for that. Oh, speaking of gardens, something I noticed with the layout here, I'll put a map on the screen, but something I noticed with the layout of the park is that if you know, I mean, look at the map. Is it just me, or does the animal exhibits, they're more on the edge of larger areas, and then they put a garden in the center, so if you want to focus on the animals, you can keep traffic moving around the park, but if you want to see their garden, see some of their architecture, or there's events going on, it's more center. I don't know, I think that's cool that they have that kind of structure, because, I don't know, it feels like a lot of other zoos are like one-way path, and then there's offshoots for event areas and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, speaking of architecture, I do really like a lot. I liked all of the new barns or the structures that they have around, like their new hayride barns. So I think it's cool that they kind of have a little complex, or I don't really know the words for it, but I like that they mix these farm architecture, these kind of classic farm architecture, with all the gardens. So another thing regarding their architecture is history. I was looking back through some of the pictures I took, and I took some pictures of like a little schoolhouse. I was thinking about their mine and all that stuff, and I realized that not only does Deanna Rose show a lot of like different breeds of livestock and even some heritage breeds like the guinea hog, but I also realized that they do show a bit of history in their architecture, like I said, the old-fashioned schoolhouse, the way the like classic barn look and all that, the Kansas Indian mound. So I think that that's something that I think should be taken advantage more of, like when visiting the park, is to see these, try and see and learn a little. I remember I've never wanted to go into the schoolhouse just because there were no, like, this was me as a little kid, but I never wanted to go in the schoolhouse just because there were no animals and I didn't like school. It's like, no, I don't want to go to school. But yeah, that's a whole different rant. Something else that I found kind of weird was that they're fake swans. They have those decoy swans which are there to ward off birds because of the avian influenza. How do I put this? I don't know. That was, so those swans were there since last year, and as far as I know, the avian influenza hasn't been a problem. Maybe they just, so okay, once upon a time they used to have these different goose and duck species, or breeds, not species, but they had these different geese and ducks there, and now they don't have them anymore. So I don't know if they passed away, they got traded out, or what, or if those swans are just there to ward off geese in the area. So yeah, but I hope that they do eventually add some new like swans, because I just thought that was unique. It was something that people could see. They had a little area for them in the lake, so, or maybe they had good reason for getting rid of it besides the avian influenza. I don't know. Okay, so another thing I want to use this show for is kind of to keep a log of what could I have done better in this video, and I think one thing was scenic shots. I needed to do more landscapes, kind of establishing shots, because if you look in the video, there's a lot that just focus on the animal, and I think that it should be good to show a lot of the show the animals' pens, the pens, the gardens, like I just talked about, the landscaping, all that. I know some kind of reminds me some of my older videos when I'm focusing on an area. I did a lot of different trying to panning shots and all that, so I think that that's something I should bring back. I'm hoping that this video will keep me honest, I guess, keep like a journal. And if there's something that you want to see, you have any ideas of how I can improve the videos, please comment down below. I'd love to hear your ideas. And then one final thing that I think I could improve on with the video was that at the beginning I did one fun fact about like agriculture. I want to have more themes. Like I had originally themed the video on how to get in, like how easier way to get into the park. But I think I want to try and make these general episodes of BEC TREK more themed, like whether it is the update or trying to do some. I did start working on a secondary video that I was also filming that day, but I'm gonna save that until I have more pictures and examples, so we'll see. But yeah, I think I should have leaned in more on the theme of agriculture, because maybe that'll be a future episode, who knows. But I do want these general episodes of BEC TREK, if they're not, add a new zoo, because the way I want to do it is that you have one episode I want to do, like we have a vlog where we go to see the zoo, and then if we return to that zoo, I want to try and do more than just updates. I know I said that I want this show to hold me accountable, but I will warn that there aren't many themes to the next few episodes because they've already been recorded. But I do want to have more thematic videos. Like, they don't have to be dedicated, but something to differentiate the different episodes of BEC TREK. So that's all I'm going to say. One more thing I did realize is that I did make a logo for BEC TREK that I need to feature more in either videos or thumbnails that I didn't feature in this last one. So maybe I'll make a new logo for BEC TREK Afterthoughts. Who knows? If you got any ideas, put them in the comments. Moving on, the last real thing that I can think of, I don't know if I'll add anything else after this. Maybe I'll go through and just look, and then I'll record an extra segment. But it was these large kind of audio things that helps like with interpretation. All right, so basically teaching about the animals. They were right next. The two that I saw were, there was one in front of their adult milk and meat goat, or dairy and meat goats, and then right next door to their smaller chicken breed habitat. So it's kind of cool because they have these plastic half orb, half circle kind of ones that are not only to protect the audio, but I think it also kind of bounces the audio down towards the guest because it's pretty tall. But I don't know. Like when I first saw it, I thought, okay, it's cool because it's telling you a bit of the origin and the different breed of like how to identify that breed of hoofstock, which I think is cool because it can be there all the time. It can, but as I said in the video, I prefer a good keeper chat. I prefer interaction because then you can ask the keepers. But you know, I mean, as always, I don't know the full story. It could be the caretakers. They could be real busy. It's kind of that argument of automation versus in person, which I think is very, what's the word, modern kind of argument. So a recent topic, I should say. So I don't know. Maybe that's going to be one of the things I lead into because I feel like I see a lot of automation at different zoos where you think, I'd prefer to see a person there. I mean, I see why they do it, but topic for another day. Though another thing with interpreters is that they did actually have someone interpreting at the Kansas Indian Mound. So I know that they have like a position that talks about them. I don't know if there's any other interpreters that, I don't think that they do keeper chats like at at other zoos. You know how like there's a specific time where people come and they talk about the animals. I don't know if that's just a volunteer position, if that's an actual interpreter job. So, but they do have actual human interpreters there. I guess one more final thing that I know, like, I'm gonna continue this video. It's gonna be one more last final additional side note to the topic to wrap us up, stuff like that. But anyways, I just think it's funny that they called it the running of the goats. But that's another thing. I don't know if all of those goats are pygmy goats, because some had like little shrunken ears. I don't know if that's a genetic thing. If you know, comment down below. Because he said that they may have different breeds like mixed in there. I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, I always called it the running of the bulls, but cuter. Because, you know, you just have all those goats going. Oh, and also, if you saw the video, there was this weird sound while I was recording the goats running. That was my camera. I'll show some of the pictures right now that I took, but of like the goats in motion. But I just thought it was funny because I never heard the part call it the running of the goats. I always just called it the running of the bulls, but cuter. So I called it the running of the goats. But I just thought that was a funny thing that I wanted to talk about. But with that, I think we're done here. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I had fun. I was a little nervous at first with the recording because I just have my notes. I don't really have like a full-on script of what I want to say, just some notes that have the topic. And then I just got into it. I like just kind of talking and ranting. I thought it was kind of fun. So if there's anything, any ideas you guys have of how I can improve my videos, if you want to see a specific park, if you like this series, comment it down below. Seriously, I want to hear your guys' feedback. So, but I hope you enjoyed the video and will consider liking and subscribing to the channel, following us on our other social media platforms, and share this video out for anyone who likes park orientation, ranting videos, me talking about automation, even though that's something I do and don't want to talk about, or just zoos and animals in general. I thank you all for watching, and remember, always be prepared, do good daily, and love nature. For your life is a canvas, and you have the brush. Auf Wiedersehen. This is a side note. I'm just noticing my microphone's kind of weird. It's like there's this one elastic thing. I don't even know if I'm gonna. Maybe I'll save it for bloopers. But there was like one kind of cord that wasn't. Okay. Anyways, I always called it the running of the goats, but cuter. I always called it the running of the bulls. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just think that it was, actually, you know what, no, side note, no, cut that part. Unless I have anything else, I don't know, I'll add it in. This is a blooper. I don't know, zoos and animals or whatever. Or, wait, or just zoos and animals, I can't, okay. Or just zoos and animals in general. The last part's going in the bloopers. For your life is a campus? For your life is a campus.